welcome to A Year of Hitchcock.movies.com. We are your hosts, Jeff and Diane, and this is movie number 13, The Secret Agent from 1936. After the great success of The 39 Steps, last week's movie, Alfred Hitchcock again teamed up with Charles Bennett, and the two of them came up this time with a World War I spy story, comedy romance with twists and turns, secret agents, double agents, and a lot of fun. It's based on two short stories written by W. Somerset Maugham. The two short stories were The Traitor and The Hairless Mexican. Somerset Maugham invented a character called John Ashenden, although I think our character in this movie, his name is Richard Ashenden. This basically was a British intelligent secret agent, spy. Somerset Maugham actually, in real life, was a secret agent spy for British intelligence from 1915 to 1916. These short stories he wrote in 1928 were a huge influence on one Ian Fleming, who of course wrote all those James Bond books starting in 1953 with Casino Royale. Somerset Maugham's character Ashenden also influenced Len Deighton, John le Carré, and Robert Ludlum. Cool. Our secret agent in tonight's movie is played by John Gielgud, and yes, that's the same Sir John Gielgud who 45 years later won an Oscar for his portrayal of Butler in the movie Arthur in 1981. He plays Hobson, the butler. He was also in Chariots of Fire, The Elephant Man, and Gandhi, all in the early 80s. He plays a very young man in this movie. His actual age was 32 in our film today, but after today's film, he didn't make another movie for 17 years, and really just stayed away from movies until he was 65 years old. And the reason for that is he really preferred the stage. He was a Shakespearean actor. He was most famous for his role of Hamlet. In fact, his Broadway version of Hamlet broke box office records in 1937 on Broadway. So our blonde leading lady tonight is Madeleine Carroll, who we saw last week in The 39 Steps. This is her last Hitchcock movie because she goes off and becomes an even bigger star in Hollywood. Peter Lorre is in this movie. He plays a secret agent as well. This again is one of his last roles before he goes off to Hollywood to become an even bigger star. And lastly, Robert Young is in this movie, a well-known actor who, of course, played all those years on television in Father Knows Best, and then later all those years on television as Marcus Welby, MD. Whew, lots of people. So a little bit of background for this movie. The version we're watching, the DVD version we have, doesn't have subtitles, so we were a little confused when we first saw it. It's set again in 1916. World War I is going on. We're in London, and we're witnessing a funeral. We're actually witnessing a fake funeral. Our hero, who's a novelist soldier, the British intelligence has faked his death without telling him, and this funeral is for him, and it's Sir John Gielgud, and he comes in and says, "What's this? What's this about me being dead?" They basically are informing him of his new identity that they're giving him. His name is actually Brody. He's now Ashenden, and they want him to be a spy. They've dispatched him to Switzerland, where he is to find a German agent and stop him at all costs. Yeah, to prevent him from escaping to Turkey with some vital information. So he's given a fake wife who's on her first spy assignment, and of course that's Madeleine Carroll. Wasn't James Bond given a fake wife once or twice in movies? And he's also given a crazy assassin to work with, the zany character played by Peter Lorre. He plays the Hairless Mexican. Although he's neither hairless nor Mexican, he's also referred to as the General, and he's not a general. But he really is a assassin spy sent to work with Ashenden. And Robert Young plays just an American tourist staying in Switzerland who has the hots for Madeleine Carroll. Who doesn't? Now, if you're thinking, wow, another spy thriller, that's 3 in a row for Hitchcock, you got to remember what was going on in Europe in the 30s. By 1936, Hitler had been in power for 3 years. He was starting to appear quite menacing. Of course, you had Italy's fascist government with Benito Mussolini, and World War II was really only 3 years off. 1936, though, it's interesting to remember that the Summer Olympics were held in Berlin. This was Hitler's big chance to showcase the resurgent Nazi Germany that he was building. And so hence you have Hitchcock making a World War I movie, basically keeping the bad guys, are they German, you know, keeping it murky, and we don't really know who the bad guy is. So there's no cameo to look for in this one, just some really interesting times. So from 1936, Hitchcock's Secret Agent. Let's watch.